I was trying to figure out, like, where is wealth creation? Wealth creation, especially in Chicago, is commercial real estate. I learned all the icons. Sam Zell, God rest his soul, just passed away. He was an icon. The Pritzkers, the Crown family. You had huge old money families in commercial real estate in Chicago.
Yeah.
And I would watch it. I would see it. I'm like, how do I become that person? And so I realized commercial real estate was the way through. So I'm up late at night. I'm reading Sharon's book. I read it once, read it the next day. I said, this is where I want to be. And so I figured out, I did accounting right after college. My mom said, get a job. There's a recession going on, just like kind of now, and it was worse. And the best thing to do is to get a job. Well, I had an accounting degree. I was studying for the CPA exam, which I am a CPA. And I realized, Travis, that if I don't get a job, I'll never be able to fund the initial stages to eventually go on my own.
Yeah.
So that was kind of the thought process. So then I was on an audit in New York with a billionaire. And he looked at me. He's like, you're not much of an accountant. I'm like, what do you mean? Yeah, I was young. I've never been to New York. I'm in Manhattan. I've never really traveled. We didn't take family vacations. So I'm in New York the first time, and I'm in his office. He's got this gorgeous office, floor to ceiling glass windows, and looking out at Manhattan, and really upscale place office. And I'm a young guy. I'm in my suit. I'm in my $300 suit with my tie and my shoes, and they're polished. And maybe I had a couple of dress shirts that would weave in and out for him, to look professional. And he just said to me, he goes, you're more of an entrepreneur. And I said, really? And he said, yeah, that's probably where you're going to be. And I kind of took it to heart, and I got back, and the accounting job wasn't working out. I wasn't really happy. So then after that, I went into starting my own business, and I bought my first deal. I had someone help me, and I bought an industrial deal in Chicago. I bought it for somewhere over like 2.8 million, 2.9 million. It was a small deal. I raised a lot of money.
Yeah.
In a matter of 3 weeks, I closed. I was buying the deal in front of two icons in Chicago that were big, huge residential home builders that were worth hundreds of millions of dollars. They were in their late 50s, 60s at the time. I was in my 20s. I remember sitting across the conference room. I would wear a suit all the time to look professional. I was young. I had to play the part. And so I was sitting in their conference room, and they probably had a conference room twice the size of this room with a huge table. And they're at one end, and the secretary puts me in a certain place. And
of course.
Back then, we used to have like china, so they'd bring out the china, and you could have tea or coffee, and maybe they'd feed you or give you a bottle of water. They turned up the heat on purpose to get me sweating.
They're doing the power plays.
Yeah, they're doing the power play. I'm a young guy. Okay, they both walk in, and they look at me, and they put their hands on the table, and they go, so Ben Reinberg, what makes you think that you can close on this property? And I remember them, huge commercial real estate residential icons in Chicago and around the country. And I said, I have a loan. I have a term sheet. Here it is. Like, oh, you can get a loan. I go, those are pretty good terms. You're going to sign with recourse? I said, yeah, I have a choice. I said, okay. Where are you getting the equity from? I said, well, I have high net worth accredited investors I'm bringing in. How you doing? I'm almost done, probably about 70%. Great. What do you need? I need a credit on the purchase price. You come in here and you're asking us for a credit on the purchase price? Like, that's a lot of nerve as a young man. I said, well, let me show you what I found. I gave them all the quotes of a new roof, HVAC, organized, wrote it by hand. I don't remember using Excel at the time. I wrote by hand, like, here are the quotes, here's the backup, this and that. They said, well, Ben, what are you asking for? I need $82,000 to be able to cover all this. It wasn't your broker that listed, did not have it disclosed. I don't have a choice. I need a credit. We were able to get the credit. We closed.
Nice.
After we closed, they saw we re-tenanted it. We sold it for a 3x multiple. I bought it for 2 something. I sold it for 6.4.
Really?
I sold it myself.
Within what time frame?
It was 3 years.
3 years.
They called me and said, I saw that sale. What did you do? Because I was young.
Hilarious.
They want to know. They're like, what's your secret? What did you do? I said, I add value. How'd you add value? I walked them through the story. And I said, kid, you're going to be something in this business. I said, you're damn right. I said, this is just the start. And they said, we know. And so I still keep in touch with those guys, but they see me now, and it's just amazing. I mean, they're a lot older, they're retired, but just the gratitude I had for that experience. And I've been through a lot of these. I've dealt with people all over the country and the world that we bought and sold from, and my company now has taken off, and we've done hundreds and hundreds of syndications, and we're doing funds, and we've built over 10 million square feet of office and industrial in my career. So I look back, Travis, and it's like a blur.
Yeah.
That young kid who was 8 years old selling cigarettes in bars in Highwood, Illinois, is now a different person.
Yeah.
And it's interesting because I see the younger people that work for me, and I try to empower them of, you can be wildly successful with me if you do the right things. And so what drives me nuts about the younger generation or people out there that is that I am living what you could live. I am the person that can show you that came from nothing, work hard, keep grinding, keep focused, build relationships, build your expertise,